Hello everyone, welcome to Ajiro Tech. Ajiro Tech. In this video, we're going to be looking at the Cambridge IGCSE Information and Communication Technology with the course code 0417. And we're looking at paper 3 website authoring, May-June 2024. And this was a paper that was released few hours as of the time of this recording. The variant is the second part of paper 3, 32. Okay, so this is very important. Moving on is the instructions. Instructions are so important. Please go through the instruction in your exam before proceeding for the paper. Okay, one notable thing I want to talk about in instructions is printouts with written candidate details will not be marked. Please, it's important that your printout with handwritten candidate details will not be marked. It has to be electronic. So it means that you have to type it in, not write it in. Okay, total mark for this paper is 70. You have been supplied with the following source files. Okay, so these are the source files you have been supplied with. We have pictures, video, CSV, pictures, CSV text, CSS, HTML, and the pictures. Okay, so we'll move straight to tax 1 evidence document since we're doing the website authoring part. So tax 1 evidence document, you are to create a new word process document. Okay, you have to create a new word process document. So let's do that. Now, once we do that, right, you are to save this document in your work area as this J32 evidence underscore followed by your center number underscore candidate number. So I'm just going to copy this. I'll copy it, and then you can see that this has not been extracted. So I have this right here, so I need to extract it. This is a compressed. Whenever you see a zip, it means it's compressed. So there's a need for you to extract it. So what I will do is I'm going to right click and I'll click on extract all. Okay, I'll click on extract and it's going to extract to that folder. So we have it here. So if I close it, I have it here. So I'm going to create the new process document right here. So I'll right click, new Microsoft Word document, and I'm just going to paste what I've copied, right? So this is my center number. So I'm going to do this. So I have AN017 and my candidate number is going to be 2024. And if you'll be following my YouTube channel, you know this is a customized center number and candidate number. Okay. There's another way to do this. You can just click on your Windows icon and go to Word, and you can open your Word. And then again, you can click on blank document. Okay, you can click on blank document, and then you can actually go ahead to do that. Still the same method, but this is way faster. Okay, so now I'm going to open it. Now the next thing is make sure your name, comma, space, center number, comma, space, candidate number will appear on every page of this document. So what I will do is I'm going to click on insert, header or footer, whichever one, but I'll prefer the header. So I'll click on the header, 3 columns, and you have your left alignment, center alignment, right alignment. So under the center alignment, I'm going to type this, my name, comma, space, your center number AN017, comma, space, 2024. The source files and everything will be sent along in the video description so that you can actually follow along with me. Okay, so I'm going to click here, type here, hit on delete, click here, type here, click on the type here, hit on delete on my keyboard, and then I'll close the header and footer. All right, so we are done with this. The next thing is you will use this as your evidence document during the examination. So the next thing we want to do right now is we want to create the evidence title. So what I would do is for paper 3 and paper 2, this is the way to do it. For paper 3, of course, you have to create it. So what I would do is step, we don't know the step yet, so I will give a space, evidence 1. Again, step, I don't know the step yet, evidence, hit on my tab to complete it, 2, okay, step, don't know the step yet, to complete it, I'm hitting on my tab to complete it, evidence 3, step, okay, evidence 4. Okay. So what I would do now is I'm going to highlight this and I'll bold it, highlight this, and I'll bold it, highlight this, and I'll bold it, highlight this, and I'll bold it. Okay, so usually there are usually 4 or at the max 5 evidence screenshots that we're taking, right? Okay, so the next one is, so I'll scroll down to, I think we're taking a screenshot of spreadsheet. Yes. Okay, we're definitely taking a screenshot of spreadsheet. So that will be um, step 11. Okay, task 3, file management. Create a new folder called J32. So I'm going to copy this. So create a new folder right here, right click, new folder, and I'm going to paste it here. All right. Locate only the following files and store them in your J32 folder. When we talk about locate, we're simply saying you are to find them and you are to move them, not copy them. Please, you are to move them. And what are the things we're moving? We're moving the pictures, the video, the text, your CSS, your HTML. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 items in total. All right. So I'm going to do that. I'll click on the first one, hold my control. Click on this. I'm still holding my control, my keyboard. Click this, click this, click this, click this, click this, click this. So now if you check here, you see that there are 8 items selected. Okay, there are 8 items selected. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to cut them. Now for Windows 10 users, you see something like this, cut. Okay, so I'll cut it. Good. And I'll open the folder, right click on it. This is for paste for Windows 11. For Windows 10, show more options, and then you can paste this. Okay, so I have this, right? And it's important that we have all this. Okay, so now we have display the contents of your J32 folder, showing the folder name. So this is the folder name. Or file name, that's the file name. Now, if yours has some space like this, right? There's a space and you want to eradicate the space. What do? You just double click on it to remove that space. And if you're having something like this and it's being cut off, just double click on it and that will solve the problem. Okay, file name. So this is file name. File extensions. These are the file extensions. File sizes. So these are the file sizes. Image dimension, frame height, and frame width. You might not have this, right? I have it on my system at default. So what do? Now at this row, I will right click on it, go to more, right? At this row here, right click on it, go to more, and then scroll down till you have dimensions, till you have frame height and frame width. Okay, very important. So you scroll down till you have your dimension, frame height, and frame width. You tick them, and then you click on OK. And then when you do that, you discover that probably something like this, or something like this. So you can just double click on it, double click on it, double click on it, right? So that's fine. Now, the next one is take a screenshot of this folder, making sure that the required information is clearly visible. Place the screenshot in your evidence document. Okay, so let's take a screenshot of this folder. Please take note, whenever you're taking a screenshot, it has to be light mode, not dark mode. All screenshot has to be light mode, not dark mode. So what do? So you can come here to your Windows icon, go to settings, go to personalization, click on colors, and choose your mode. Change it from dark to light, right? So now we can now take a screenshot. To take our screenshot, we're going to use a snipping tool. So I'm going to search for it, snipping tool. And right here, this is the one you use for image. Click on new. And then I'll take the screenshot. Please ensure you're capturing everything. Okay, so now I'll come to my evidence document. So this is what step is this? This is step 12, evidence 2. Step 12, evidence 2. I'll hit on enter and right click and then paste, or control plus V to actually do that. So it's important that your screenshots are properly showing and nothing is being cut off. So this is good. And I'll save and permit me to go back to my dark mode. Oh, I know you guys say thank you, sir. Thank you. All right. So let's go ahead. Task 4, web page. You have to create a web page to help raise awareness of giraffe conservation. Create a web page called j32web.htm and save this in your j32 folder. Now I want to talk about something briefly, very important. I want to talk about something briefly now, and I have my slide here, so that would help me to be able to do that. Now notice that you have, first thing I want to talk about is the difference between the web authoring packages and your text editors. Okay, so I have this right here on my slide. So this is very, very important. I have it right here on my important notice. So let's look at my important notice. Files are written in HTML using a simple text editor or a web authoring package. Now your text editors are your Notepad, Notepad++, and I don't want to, I have them here. I have my Notepad right here. I have my Notepad++. Also, you can actually use the Sublime text, right? You can use the Sublime text to do that. Also, you can also use the Visual Studio Code to do that. Some schools also use bracket, okay, to do that. I don't have bracket here. Okay, the Visual Studio Code do that. So all these are your text editors. Okay. Now, when we talk about the web authoring packages, they are more or less like your what you see is what you get. Basically, right? What you see is what you get. So more or less a drag and drop, but it's important for you to understand the code section of it. So the web authoring packages are your Adobe Dreamweaver, and I have it right here because I have a lot of foreign students in different content I teach that make use of different of them, right? Different of these, either a text editor or any of the packages. So your Adobe Dreamweaver, I have the CS6, or you can actually use the Microsoft Expression Web 4. Okay, even the front page, the Microsoft front page, I don't think I have the front page here. I don't have it right here. So you can also use the Microsoft front page as well. Okay, so all this, whether you're using a text editor or a web authoring package, is still going to give us the same thing. That's the first thing I want to talk about. The next one is this HTML. Most of the time I receive questions, especially in the previous in our last master class, right? Mr. Joe, HTML, what's the difference? Okay, so files are written in text format and are usually saved with the HTML or the HTML file extension. So they are both the same thing. Okay, so what's HTML? HTML. HTML is an abbreviation for hypertext markup language and is the text-based language that is used to develop the content layer of a website. Okay, so what's the content layer? This is the content layer right here. Okay, where we have the contents of our web page, like your text, images, and also page structures like your frames, your table, hyperlinks. They are all placed. So this is very, very important. Hope we're learning. It is not just a soft pass paper, it's also for you to learn as well. Okay. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, so what to create a web page called this. All right. So this is what I'm going to do. So I'm using the Microsoft Expression Web 4, which is one of the softwares I use for this YouTube channel, but in master classes I use other ones as well. Okay, so I'm just going to stick with that since that's what I'll be using in this YouTube channel. And by the way, if you don't subscribe to Ajiro Tech, you probably want to do that. So subscribe to Ajiro Tech. Just click on the subscribe button to get more amazing tips from Ajiro ND. Right? Okay, so let's do that. So the next thing I'm going to do is I can change the view now to large icons. Thank you. and we're going to save this in the J32 folder. Very important. So I'm going to open the Microsoft Expression Web 4, open it. And if you open it and you're not having something like this, or probably you're having so many traditional, that's probably using the XHTML 1.0. So how do we do that? So to change it to have something like this, right? You come here to right here, they see something like this, your XHTML, click on it, and I want to explain some things there. So now you're going to see the default document is HTML, and the default HTML file extension HTML or HTML is still the same thing. Okay. Under here to document type declaration, change it to HTML5. Okay. For the secondary schema, you might want to leave it in HTML5, or um, the Internet Explorer, the one it is, you can leave it as that is fine, or you can use HTML5. For the CSS schema, just leave the schema like that, 2.1. Okay, and then click on OK. So for you to see the changes, what do? You close it, click on File, click on New, and then go to HTML. There we go. Okay. So let's do that. I'm going to copy this. Obviously, in your exam, your physical exam, you're not going to do copy and paste, but you have the physical people with you. So I'll click on File, Save As, and I'm going to save it inside that folder. Okay. So I'm going to open this folder. Okay. So the file name is going to be J32 Web. If you look at it, J32 Web. It doesn't matter if you've removed the .html because the save as type is already on web page and it has all these extensions. So I have this. Now, another thing I want to talk about is the page title. Now, instead of actually doing the head section, which you can, right here you have on title 1. So you can actually put your page title right here. And let's look at the question. Do we have where they have to talk about the page title? It's always recommended to have a page title for your web page. But since we have it as a step here, step 14, set the title of the web page to geographic conservation. So I'll copy this. And then right here on page title, click on change title and then paste it. Okay, remove the space and click on OK. And if you click on save, you will see that the title that was on title 1 has now been changed. Another thing is when you're using the web authoring packages, it's always a good practice to always check your output using a web browser, not using the design, because the design doesn't really give you what you want. A good example is your video, right? It doesn't show the video here. So it's always a good practice to use this for the code view, and you can actually preview your work in the web browser. So you can click on File, Preview in Browser. If you don't have Microsoft Edge, right, there's going to be videos on this, some of my videos on 2023 in the description that you can click to actually watch how to be able to add in other web browsers to your web authoring packages. Okay, in this case, into the Microsoft Expression Web 4. Okay, so I'm going to click on the Microsoft Edge, right? Or you can actually go there to my YouTube channel and watch all the videos or any of the videos on 2023 website authoring to see how to do the steps. So now we have the page title here. Okay. Now the next thing is, I think I can just move it here. The next thing, let's go back. This web page must be created using a single table and work in all browsers. The table must fit 75% of the browser window and have a structure as shown in this diagram. So looking at this, we have how many rows? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we have, that's for the rows. Column, we have 1, 2, 2 columns. So you can actually use the code view to do this by typing in the code, right? In my recent master classes, I've started introducing only code view. We're writing the code from the beginning to the end without doing drag and drop. How amazing is that? So for those who are interested in the master classes, you can actually click on the descriptions are there on the video description, so you can just join in and then you can actually learn. Okay, very important. So we use the table tag for it, and then we can bring in your table row, which is your TRO, your TD for it. Okay, so now we'll go to table, insert table. Okay, so we have the row. The row is what? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, and we have 2 columns. And again, they said what? Looking at the question, I think I can reduce this a bit so I can actually see. Must fit was 75% of the browser window. So this is what we call an embedded style. What you call your inline style, your embedded style, right? It goes into the table tag as your style, right? Equals to width column 75%. So here we have the specified width, and I'm going to move this here to 75%, and I'll click on what? Okay. So now we have this generated for us. Okay. Now this an NBSP and NBSP semicolon simply means space. That's what it means. And NBSP semicolon means space. Okay. So I'm going to replace that space with what? The letters. So I have A. Okay. So I have A. But here is the thing. Here's the thing here for having just A. Let me explain what I mean. Is the fact that, let me come here and preview this. This is merged. Okay. Now, let me add a border. Design view can just help you see a grid of what you're working with, but you see that this has been merged. Now, when we merge across columns, okay, when we merge across column, we call it a co-span. When we merge across rows, we call it a row span. Very important. Okay, so this is what we are going to do. I'm going to use a code for it. Okay, so I have this as the co-span equals to 2, and then I can remove this. Save. And if I come here, we have it here. Done. It's still the same thing as, let me undo it so you can actually see what I'm doing. It's still the same thing where we do this, highlight this, right click, go to modify and merge cell. And if you check the code, it's still the same thing. Hope we're learning. Okay, but for this video, I'm just going to use the method I've been using all through my video for consistency, so you can actually learn along. But in my master classes, we're looking strictly on the code view, which should enhance your knowledge, deepen your knowledge, okay, so that when you face theoretical questions on website authoring, you know how to ace it, right? Okay, so that's the first one. The next one is I'm going to merge this. So we're merging this is going to be row span. And row span what? This is going to be 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be row span equals to 3. So let's do that. So I'm going to do that here, which is this. I'm going to highlight this, right? Right click on it, modify, merge cell. All right. If I come here, you see that this row span, and I have this, remove the an ANBSP semicolon, which is the space, to B. Now you're wondering why this is here. This is here because this is the second row. So we have this merged with this row. Okay, very important. So I have this here as what? C. Okay. The next one is D and E. You can come to design and just do this. Type in D, type in E, okay? And it's going to replace it as well, okay? The next one is this. So we're going to merge across. It's going to be our co-span, okay? Right click, modify, merge cell, and we have this as F. If we check here, it's going to be co-span 2, which is F. Hope that makes sense. All right. Table borders must appear on the final web page. Each table cell is identified with a letter which must not appear on the final web page. Very important. Okay, so we're just using this to just check, because if we save this and we go to our actual web browser to check our web page, we're not going to have this unless we add what? A border. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to add a border because I want to use my web browser to check. So that means border equals to 1, and I'll save. And if I come here, refresh, so you don't have to preview it all the time. You don't have to come to file, preview. Once I've preview it once, all you have to do is just refresh. Okay, so now this is actually 75% of the web page. So if I do this, if I move this here, it's still 75. Okay, so now I can take it here. Step 15. Place in cell A the image J32 banner.jpg, and I'm going to use the code for this. So I have the A. So to do this, we have the code called imaging, right? The image code. So I have this img, okay, and then we have the source. Okay, so what's the source? The source here is this. So I'm just going to copy this, and the reason why I'm copying it is because it is saved in the same folder. It is saved in the same folder. It has to be a relative file path, not an absolute file path. Please take note of this, and I'll show you in my slide. Good. Now, when creating references to another file, particularly one stored locally, it is really important to use a relative file path, such as this. This is better than using an absolute file path, which is this. So do not use an absolute file path. It is very important. They will mark you down. Okay, so this is important, and here it is. The same reason applies to image and other, including your web page, must be used. Relative references must be used rather than what the absolute word referencing. And why is this important? It's important because computers are unlikely to have the same folder structure and file name. So if we use an absolute file path, would not be found on another computer, because there is what it's now having what a different folder structure and file name. So please, this is very, very important. Relative, not absolute, right? And there's a lot to talk about in my masterclass on this. Okay, and also some videos I will do along the line. So if you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, you're missing a lot. Trust me. Okay, so we're gonna have this. Okay, so I have this, and now okay, I'm just looking for where the access to, although automatically you have to add alternative text to your images, just in case your images is not loading. It shows you what that image is all about. So I'm going to do that here. Okay, so my alternate is going to be, okay, let's look at the image. Where is it? The banner of giraffe conservation. Okay, banner of giraffe conservation. I think that's fine. Okay, so I'm going to save, and I'm going to preview this in my browser. So we have this. Okay, now the next thing is what? A video tag to display J32 feed.mp4, so it fits the width of this cell. Okay, this video must show the controls and play automatically. Okay, when the web page opens, displays an automated text-based error message if the browser does not support this video type. So for videos, let's check right here on my slide, because I want to show you all these things. I have a video here. Good. So this is for videos. Good. Now, videos can be inserted using the video tags, opening tags, and then closing tags. I want to do this. Good. Video tags and closing tags. Okay. And you must include, most time, if the width and height is there, in this case it's not there, so we might have to leave it. Okay. The control attribute shows the video controls and allow you to be able to control like your start, your play. That's why the controls have to be there. Okay. The video source is different from any other HTML element, and it uses what a source tag, right? As well as the SRC attribute. Okay, so we have the source, we have the SRT, so this is very, very important. So you must include text between, right, for the error message. So we have the error message, and then we have the source. Acceptable video formats, okay, is your MP4, .mp4, .webm, and .ogg. Okay, there are many other ones, but they don't work with the video tag. Okay, now the next thing is video controls and autoplay. Because looking at this question, they said this video must show the controls and play automatically when the web page opens. So this simply means that to remove controls from the video, simply, of course, we'll have to remove the controls to autoplay the video so that it runs as soon as it's loaded onto the web page. We have to replace the control attribute with the autoplay. In this case, what do they want here? They want the video must show the controls and play automatically, which is what so we're going to leave the controls. Okay. Now, as many browsers refuse to play unless the video is muted, so that's why we have to use muted for it. Okay. And then to get the video to play in a continuous loop, okay, the loop attribute is used. Okay, so we want it to play automatically. So what are we doing here? So what we are simply doing here is we have the controls. Okay, we have the controls, we have the autoplay, and we have the muted. Okay, we have what? The muted. So hope this is very, very important. Okay, so this is very important. So let's go ahead. So here, come in, let's check. So this is for B. Okay, so for B here, I'm going to remove this, hit on enter, and then I have my video tag. It brings the closing tag, hit on enter, and then the browser, let me copy the error message. The browser copy. Okay, let me just paste this and remove this. The browser does not support this video type. And here we can add our what? Controls. Okay. Our autoplay, no, controls, not equals to. We have our autoplay. Okay. And again, I talked about the fact that, look at it, so that it runs, as many browsers refuse to autoplay unless the video is muted. So you must also add what? The muted attributes to this tag. It's very important that you must add it. Okay, so you have the autoplay, and then you have the muted. Okay, they didn't ask us for continuous loop, so there's no need for us to add a loop for it, right? So usually if they ask for the continuous loop, it has to be autoplay loop muted, but they didn't ask us for the for it to be in a continuous loop, so we need to play automatically as soon as it is loaded. Okay, the next thing I want to do is source. Okay, so here the source SRC, I'm going to copy it here, copy, and I'll paste onto V, and then I have the type. So what's the type? Is a video, and what's the extension? MP4. Okay, so I'm going to save. Now this is why in design you're not going to see it, right? So if we check on our web browser and then we refresh, so now we have it. You can see that it's playing automatically, right? We want it to play automatically, but we don't want it to be in a continuous loop. As soon as it's loaded, that's what they said, right? They said the video must show the control and play automatically when the web page opens. So it has to play, or to once the web page opens, it plays automatically. Hope we're learning. Okay. The next thing is so that it fits the width of this cell. So for it to fit the width of this cell, so what do? Right here, we go to style, okay, width 100%. Okay, 100%. Okay, so now when we check it, so now it's not fitting to the width of the cell. So this is very, very important. We can actually use the HTML for it. Just width equals 100%. It's still going to work. Literally, it's still going to work. And they didn't ask us if it's going to be embedded or if it's just going to be an outright HTML. So whichever one is fine. All right. So see the image what? Okay. So I will just copy this. So see here, I have my image img. Okay, and I'll paste it here. My alternate, what's my alternate? Let's check. What's what? What do we do? So it's going to be image of what do we do? Of what we do. Okay. All right. And then we'll close it. The image doesn't have a closing tag, right? So just close it like this. And then we'll check this. Okay, so we have this here. All right. The next one is what? Contact. So I'll copy this. IMG, SLC. Okay. Auth and image of contact. Okay. So I'll save it and come here and refresh. Okay, so we have this. All right, what else? Enter in cell E the text. So cell E the text, web page. So copy this. Cell E the text, web page. All right. Then on a new line, your name, enter your name, center number, and candidate number. Now, there are two ways to do this. You can actually use a break line, right? Or we can actually break it using the particular heading that has been given. So let's just set this text as style H3. So you can actually use H3 to break it, or you can actually use the break line to actually do that. So whichever one you want to do. So if we do this, this will actually break it to the new one, right? So you have your name, right? So here you have your name. Okay, AN07 space 2024. Okay. On a new line, enter your name, center number. So we have this. Set the style as H3. So we have this as H3. I'm closing the tag first. Okay. And then I'm opening it. Okay. So now let's check it. So we have this. Okay. Another way we can actually do this is we can actually come here to say, okay, since I don't want to break it, I want to do this. So I close the H3, right? And come here and open the H3 again. Save it. And we have this here. So literally it's still fine, right? It's still fine. You're still going to get a mark, right? So there are ways that we can actually ensure that it goes onto a new line. All right. Step 17. Place in cell F the text from the file j32text.txt. Okay, so open this here. It's always advisable. One thing I want to talk about, TXT, always open it to your notepad and not in your word processor. Please take note. Open it in your notepad and not in MS Word, right? Don't open it in Word, okay? Because opening in Word, it comes with other tags along with it. And if you don't know how to debug it, you might actually encounter some errors. So please open it with your notepad. Just simple, simple, right? Open your notepad and you can just copy the text here. Okay, copy. I know I should have done Control A. I know most of you like say, Joe, we don't do Control A. All right, it's fine. Okay, all right. Hope we're having fun. So place in cell F the text from the file j32 text.txt. So I'm going to do this here and paste. Okay. Set this text in paragraph style. So I'm going to set this in paragraph style. Okay. So the closing tag for the paragraph, I'll cut it and I'll move it here and I'll paste it. Okay. And I'll save it here. So let's check what we have done. So we have it here. Okay. So we have it here. So now what do we do? What I want to do is, this is way too long. Yes, you would agree, right? So I'm just going to break it. Now, when I'm breaking it, because I didn't add any break line tag, so it's not going to affect anything. So I can just do this here. Probably bring this here. 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 And finally bring this here. Okay, so this fine, I can save. And if you check your web page, you see that nothing has changed. Okay, nothing has changed. All right. Attach the style sheet J32 web.css to your web page. Do not edit the style sheet. Okay, so let's do that. Again, I said we're going to use the code, and I'm keeping to my promise. We don't need this, the meta tags. They need access for meta tags. So remove what they don't tell you to do, right? So I'll remove it. And then I'll have my title here. And then, all right, now look at this style sheet. Use style sheet. I want to show you something right here in my slide. So this is what we mean to use a style sheet. So here we have the style sheet. We begin with a link, and then you have your hyperref. You have your what kind of relate to what the style sheet, and then you have your type. Very important. Okay. So here I have my link here. Okay. I have my href. What am I referencing to? And then I have this. Okay. So I have this. I'm going to copy this and I'll paste it. Okay. Relating it to the style sheet. It's right here. The style sheet is right here. And then the type is text and the CSS. So I'll close it and I'll save. And once you do that, my panel here, manage style, is going to show. So panels, manage styles is going to show. I'm using the code view in this video, not drag and drop. So I want you guys to actually learn. Okay. So we have this. Okay. So now if I preview this, let's see what happens. So now we have this. Okay. So now we have this. Okay. Make the image J32 a link to open. Now look at this. I'm seeing something here, so we're going to fix it, right? We're going to fix it. Make the image j32what.jpg a link to open the web page in a new window called blank. Okay, so it's going to open this web page. So I'll copy this. Okay, what? So I have it here. So I have an anchor href. Okay, I'll paste it here. And I have my target. So what's the target? The target is what? Underscore what? Blank. Okay. and I'm going to close my anchor around the image. Okay, so now we have this. So let's check. So if we click on it, it opens on a new tab. That's what we want, right? That's what we want. Okay. The next one is make the image J32 contact.jpg a link to an email editor to prepare an email to this. Okay. So I'll copy this. So I have this. Okay. So I'm using the anchor tag href. Right now, instead of putting the URL, we're going to use mail to. Okay. So we're mailing to this. Okay. And then we have a question mark. Okay. So we have the subject. So what's the subject? The subject is equals to subject. The subject is giraffe. Okay. Okay. Let me do this. Close right here. Giraffe. And I have this close. Now, just in case they ask you to add body to it, add body to it, you can actually do that. Let me see. Okay, so let me do this. Okay, mail to this. So I'm going to save. Now, if they ask you to add body, this is just mail to with the subject. You have to use another question mark and then you add your body equals to. Okay, so let's see. Copy and let's see if it's working. Okay, so obviously I need to actually connect to the internet to actually see how this would work. So I've connected to the internet. So let me check. Click on contact us. Okay, it's opening my Outlook and let's see. It's supposed to show in right now. Yes, so it's actually working. So we have the giraffe, and now for body, if we, let's say we want to add body for it, right? We're not told body, but if you want to add body to it, what you do here is the same thing here: question mark, body, and then you put hello, how are you, right? So we're just playing around it, and so we can now check, right? And if I click here, it shows the body as well. It's going to open and good. So you can see that now it's sending a message along the way. Hello, how are you? And I can just hit on send. Okay, so hope we're learning because it's right there in your textbook and it's important for you to exploit. It's also right here on the slide. And this slide is available to students, to teachers to actually use in teaching their students so they can have an understanding of this. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead. Okay, so we need to remove the body from this. This is not part of it. We use it just to test one to ensure that it is working. So we need to remove it here. Okay, so we need to remove it. Okay. Okay, and then we save. 20, save your web page. That's very difficult to do, but I've done it. Okay, take a copy of this. So let's look at this. This something isn't right here. Okay, something isn't right here. So let's see why this is not working. Now let's fix it. Why is it not working? Now let's look at our image. Did we ensure that it fits to this? Okay, so all our image so that it fits to this way. So we didn't fit our image to it. Okay, we didn't fit our images to it. So let's do that. Okay, so let's do that. So I have my image right here. So I have my styles. Wait, I was waiting for it. Okay, since they say we should not edit it, so I'm going to do it here. Okay. Styles equals to width, and then I have 100%. Okay. Which other one again? Okay, for this as well, I'm going to add the style equals to width, 100%. I waited because I wanted to be sure that it has not been added in the CSS. So let's check it again. Perfect. So now this is better, right? Now we have it separated from it. And the reason why this was clustered because we did not fit them into that particular cell. And the only reason that we're checking to ensure that probably we're not doing that in the CSS, but since they say that do not edit the style sheet, so that makes the whole thing very easy for us to just do. Okay, so let's check. I think all of them. Let me see. I have this right here with the style sheet and this right here as well, with the embedded styles with, I'm checking. I have this as well. I have this as well. Okay. So I think that's all. So let's check. Save. What else again? Take a copy of your HTML source and place this in your evidence document. So let me take a copy. So taking a copy simply means Control A and Control C, right? I'm selecting all of them, or you can just highlight whichever one you want to do is fine. Okay, so you come here, and this is going to be what? Step 20, evidence 3. So step 20, evidence 3, hit on enter. Be careful, it's bolded, don't bold it, and then I'm going to paste it. I'm going to highlight it again. Okay, come here, right, and then remove space after paragraph. You can increase it a bit to 14. It's fine. My titles, I'm going to increase my titles to 14. My evidence title. Okay, increase this to 14. All right, so now I have this. Okay, I can make everything to Calibri. Okay, the Calibri is better. Good. So I've made it to Calibri. So that's fine. Okay, so I still have some. Just remove this. Okay, so that's fine. Yes, probably just to give some space between. I can just do this. Okay, that's fine. And then I have this here. All right, so what's the next thing? Display your web page in a browser if necessary, resize it so that. So to do this, so what I'll do here is I'll click on the three dots, right? Come to screenshot, capture full web page, and I'll copy this, right? I'll copy this and come here, hit on enter, and I'll paste this. Ever since I brought this method into the IGCSE ICT world, it has helped a lot of students to know actually how to take a full web page instead of just cutting it or trying to resize it as much as possible. Just by using this method, that will save you a whole lot of stress. So that's a plus. That's why you're in Ajiro Tech, to learn new things. Okay. All right. So if we size it so that all the page can be seen, all text can be easily read, the address bar is fully visible. So what I will do is I'm going to detach it from here and I'll make it full, right? And I want to take a screenshot of this. So I'm going to take my snipping tool, take a screenshot of this, new, take a screenshot of this. Okay, and come here and I'll paste it here. Click on the first one, picture format, text wrap, through. Click on the second one, wrap text, through. And this is where we do a little bit of magic. So I'm just going to use my arrow key and I'll move it up. Okay. And hold my shift, select this as well, and I'm going to group it. So now we have it as one image. Okay, so everything is showing, and we have this as well. Okay, all right. I think we can pull it back in. Okay, let's pull it back in. All right, so what else? Okay, display it in the web size. So we'll take a screenshot evidence showing your web page in the browser. We'll place this in the evidence document, which is what? Step what? What step is this? Step 20. Okay. Step 20, evidence 4. So this one is step 20, evidence 3. Okay, so let me make this to 14. Step 20, evidence 4. And this one is step 20 for the copy of it, of the HTML, is step 20, evidence 3. So it's important for you to ensure that your evidence document is as sleek as possible. Okay, it's every screenshot is showing, okay, legible, and your texts are properly shown. Very important. So this is how you can create your evidence document for paper 3, okay, ensuring that the steps are included and your evidence. I think that is all.